Welcome, guys, to another edition of the No Job Podcast. I'm your host, Najee Simmons. Here at the podcast, you already know we believe that everybody has to earn a living, but nobody has to have a job. Here, we believe in making a living doing something that you love, getting paid to do something that you find meaningful and that you think is helpful to the people of this world, using your God-given gifts and talents. And today, we have a guest that I know believes that not only because of the way that he does his work, but because of the fact that he helps me do my work, the fact that he helps me get this message out. I'm talking about Marvin Lewis, aka Marvelous Photos on all social media. He's the producer behind this podcast, and today we're going to talk to him about his business, his mentality about work and about jobs, and we're going to see what we can learn from him. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Marvin Lewis, Marvelous Photos, to the podcast. What's going on?
How you doing, man? We out here.
Yeah, how's it feel to be on this side of the camera?
It's a little bit weird, you know. I got a podcast. I do some podcasting, but normally when I'm talking to you, it's behind the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. And behind the camera is where you spend a lot of time, behind the camera and behind the computer, editing, AV stuff. How'd you get into that in the first place? Because I wanna find out where it all started.
Yeah, man. So, camera stuff. It's a weird story because, especially if you see my car now. So I was into my car.
Yeah.
I had just got a new vehicle post graduation, and I'm on a bunch of forums and stuff, and I'm looking up cars, like how to fix stuff. I was always a YouTube dude looking to learn stuff.
Yeah.
So I see all of these dudes with their cars and their pictures are real nice. So I go grab whatever camera I had at the time. I go outside. I'm like, bang, bang, bang. I upload them and I'm like, why mine don't look like how their like how theirs look?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand it. I'm switching angles.
Yeah.
You know. So then I found this section on that forum. It was called DSLR. The DSLR section of it. And all of these dudes had what's called a DSLR camera. Mm-hmm. And that's what they were shooting with. So from then on, I started researching cameras.
Yeah.
And then I got a camera for Christmas. And then from there, it's been a wrap. My car has been neglected ever since.
But now the focus has been the cameras and having gear.
Yeah. So that stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just been... For a while, I've been amassing gear. Like, oh, I need this. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need this.
Yeah.
And now I'm scaling back gear. Like, all right, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need that.
Right.
Because when you know how to work what you have, then you don't need the next piece of something. You
Got it.
Yeah. You just need to know how to work it.
Yeah. It becomes more about the skills than the technology.
Yes.
That you have available to you. Absolutely, I believe that. And if I haven't made it clear already, Marv is a photographer by trade, although, as you've heard, he does many other things. And I just want to know, when was the first time you connected what became a hobby, like your car was a hobby, taking pictures, getting better at it, and getting paid? At what point did you decide somebody might pay me some money for this?
Yeah, so really, I guess like self-evaluation, really. So like a lot of people I see now, they'll get a camera and then the next day they out there like, yo, photographer, putting watermarks on stuff and trying to sell stuff. And I'm like, man, I would never like learn how to make a grilled cheese and then call myself a chef.
Yeah.
You know? And so it was really just by being very humble, being a student of the game, learning as much as I could until I seen that my knowledge and my results that I was getting was better than most people that was getting paid. And I was just like,
right,
why am I not like doing this? Why am I not getting paid for this? So,
So you saw the opportunity. You saw that your skill set was needed and profitable in that space, 100%. But then how'd you go from noticing that? Because there's somebody listening who's better than other people that get paid for what they do, but they don't necessarily know how to put themselves out as someone who's offering this service for money. So, like, how did that start? Do you remember the first time?
Shoot. I remember my first wedding, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve G, you know?
Oh, really?
So, a lot of times, you know, especially with photography and stuff, you'll have opportunities through friends and family. So Steve, he gave me an opportunity to shoot his wedding, and I did good. Looking back, I could do way better now.
Yeah.
But I was able to get that experience and explore that opportunity for that, and then from then on, it was really through word of mouth that it just kept spreading, and I kept getting different little side jobs here and there.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems that's the challenge for a lot of people, getting the word of mouth to function at a level where you can get enough jobs to sustain yourself.
Yeah, so even before that, though, actually, I did what's called a 365 project.
Okay.
And a 365 project is where you take a picture every day for a year.
Okay.
And you can get as creative as you want. Some people just go out, take a picture of a tree or something. But every day I was trying to make a banger. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, what do I do here? Actually, I should throw up some of those throwbacks because I
Yeah, throw 'em up.
actually I got really good from doing those 365s. And people noticed that. People were looking for that photo that I was doing every day.
Mhm.
And from then that's when a lot more people started to recognize, like, okay, Marv takes pictures because I was taking pictures.
That was on Facebook that everybody was seeing your stuff?
It was it was on a website called Flickr, which
Oh,
is
I remember that.
yeah, it kind of flickered out,
Yeah.
but it's still there on Flickr, and I used to post it from Flickr like to Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
But this was years ago,
Yeah. So you're confirming everything I tell people,
right?
which is that you have to spend time doing it before anybody believes that you do it,
Right.
much less before anybody will take their money and pay you to do it and can trust that you're going to give them what you want in return. So people might balk at the idea of doing something for free first, but that's essentially what you did, even though you weren't per se doing a wedding for free or doing some event for free. You were working hard, honing your craft and displaying it, not getting paid for that. And eventually people recognized it, and now people hire you. So how old were you? How old were you when you started getting jobs? Because was that during high school or after?
I was after high school. It was during college, so I had to be
Okay.
around 23-ish.
Okay, so that's important. That's a critical point, because we know that most people who become entrepreneurs, the vast majority really start after high school or after college. Most people who start on a career path, I think the overwhelming majority will stay at least in the corporate world if they switch careers. But I feel like finishing school or being in the midst of school is a crucial point. Were you considering, like, maybe I'll just get a job? I'm going to school for something. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll do cameras on the side.
Man, I mean, I never. I thought I had a plan. So my plan was I was going to become an elementary school teacher, and then after that, I was going to become a gym teacher. So I got my early childhood certificate, and then I was finishing up the rest of my classes at St. Joe's. I think I have maybe a year left at St. Joe's.
Yeah.
Obviously, I did not
Yeah.
finish. So as I was doing that and doing photos at the same time, and I actually had a job. I was a pre-K teacher for a while,
Okay.
which was really cool. Love the kids. But I just noticed, I don't really like workplace politics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of drama in there. There was a lot of politics and where I would go to student teach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And wearing the suit and
Yeah.
essentially having to be not myself all day.
Okay.
It was draining.
Uh-huh.
And pictures, taking pictures, being creative, just allowed me to be myself
Mm-hmm.
and express kind of myself and how I feel.
Cool. I think I've never termed it this way, but the way you describe what you do as a matter of self-expression, I think that's what I know I'm looking for, and a lot of people who watch and listen to this look for. They feel as constrained as you did, pretending to be someone else, wearing somebody else's clothes, like when you're wearing the suit. I know you personally, and you don't wear suits.
Nah.
The circumstance where you have a suit on is extraordinarily rare. It has to be absolutely necessary. I think I want to stay on that for a minute. Self-expression.
Right.
Like, did you already have that connection in your mind? My photography is my self-expression, and doing this as a way of making a living allows me to exercise that self-expression more frequently.
No, I didn't actually. Later on, I did when I started tying it to everything else that I was doing. But
Okay.
when initially I started taking pictures, I was just like, I'm gonna do this. Like I didn't have a backup plan. There was no plan B. Your parents, they definitely want you to finish school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Just in case.
yeah, just in case, or like, get your job. But I had people that I went to school with. They graduated, did all of that, and they was working at CVS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once I seen like how much money I could make taking photos, I was just like, there's no way that I'm gonna get a job.
Yeah.
There's no way
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend a 40-hour work week
Yeah.
working for something that I could get that same money in one day.
Yeah.
I could get that same money in 2 days.
Yeah.
And I was willing to risk it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bet it all. And hey, there's been plenty of times where it was looking rough. You know what I'm saying? Where the money wasn't coming in. And then every once in a while, like getting jobs and just piecing it by faith. It's definitely I don't know how I don't have gray hairs.
Yeah.
Right now. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
There's definitely that factor. So if you're like an order person and you need to see what's coming in, and then you could do that. Starting out doing this kind of work may not be the most comforting or safe.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of moments of uncomfortability. Marv is married, has a wife, has a daughter, and obviously that's something that you have to take care of and that you think about when you're on this path. And even though you're enduring the stress and you know it's part of the deal, do you ever doubt? Do you ever wonder if there's something I could go do?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Like I always looked, I was like, man, if somebody could pay me for my no job,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then
Sure.
and I don't have to worry about it, and I could
Yeah.
just come in and do what I do now.
Yeah.
I was like, that would be a dream situation, but unfortunately, that ain't out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've been looking, and there's some positions or whatever, but at the end of the day, you ain't gonna have the freedom that you have here now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To take the jobs that you want to take, not do the projects that you don't want to do.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I turn down jobs, and it's not because I don't need the money. It's just that I don't feel like I can deliver per se what that client wants.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm not out here just trying to grab up everything.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to make sure that my customers have the end result that they want.
And all the people who've worked with you all have good things to say about you because it was all a good fit.
I hope so.
Yeah. That's the aim, right?
Yeah, that is the aim. That is the aim.
You don't want to work with anybody that's going to make your experience miserable or who's not going to be happy with the end product. Then when they ask, you worked with Marvelous Photos, how was it? And they say, he didn't give me what I wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah. No amount of money is worth having that as your reputation.
Exactly.
He didn't give me what I wanted or what I needed.
But as far as expressing, myself through photography, just to jump back on that, like I never thought about it, but the way that I think about creating in general, and now my title in my mind is just like creator or like media curator.
Yeah.
Because, obviously it's morphed into videos, morphed into audio, producing tracks and stuff like that. But the way I think about creating is pretty much the same across the board, whether I'm like taking a picture or I'm cooking. There's the rules. You learn the basics, and once you know where the lines are, that's when you can step outside of the lines and start to improvise. And I do that with everything.
Got it. So what are the kind of jobs you like? Like, what are the ideal jobs for you?
The ideal jobs for me is where somebody has a concept and they need to tell a story on paper. So if you come to me and you say, hey, Marv, I'm dropping an album. It's called culinary infusion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be like, all right, I could put Najee in a blender.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could really think outside the box to try to make your story be represented through a photo.
Sure. So storytelling. Yeah, that's absolutely crucial. So you're looking for people who are themselves probably creative, and you want to, is it more like a collaboration when you work with somebody?
It really is, because I feed off of, so like, I like people,
Yeah.
but I don't like people, but I like people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I do my best work when I'm working with people, and collaborations and helping people is absolutely one of my strongest features, or strongest, what do you call them? Attributes.
Yeah.
And when I'm working with somebody, I'll be like, oh, okay, yo, you see what you just did there naturally? I'm always just looking to see how they move and what they do.
Yeah.
And then I want to pull that out and bring that out, because
Sure.
that's them. When I take a picture and I feel like that's the best representation of them, their real self, then I'm happy.
Yeah. I felt that way with a headshot you took for me. I told you it's the best picture of me that I have. And I'm pretty sure that's the best thing you can tell a photographer. But I mean that when I say it. And speaking of collaborating, you're obviously a collaborator with me on this podcast. I said he's the producer. Essentially, what that means is he does all the stuff that I don't know how to do, how to get the audio together so it sounds right, sets up lighting, mics, does the post-editing. If you see any overlays on the YouTube, he's doing it. So I just want to ask, and look, be honest, like, why did you decide this project was worth your time to collaborate on? The reason I'm asking, just for background, is because I had this vision of the No Job podcast, right? I don't know how to do all the things that it require. I'm working full time. I'm also a husband and a father. And while I'm confident in my ability to learn, I don't think I could learn it to a level where I'd feel confident presenting it to the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what for you makes you come in and play this crucial role that this thing couldn't exist really without you? Why would you even bother to spend your time doing something like this? What time is it? It's going to be like 9:00 at night soon. It's a weekday.
Yeah. So why am I helping you?
Yeah.
I think the better question would be is, why do I keep helping you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because so basically it boils down to this. For me, innately, I like to help people, right? But it only makes sense for me when I help somebody and they're helping themselves. And
Sure.
how much stuff did you learn on your own about editing, chopping up clips?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Like, how much time have you put into this podcast?
Plenty. I don't count the time. I just do it. You know?
Yeah. And because I see you working, I'm like, I could work. You know what I'm saying? Because I see you putting in those extra hours, like right after work, coming here, you're here, you know what I'm saying, with me late at night.
Yeah.
Like, making this thing happen. So like, your dedication to making your dreams succeed is definitely one of the things that helps me and fulfill something in me.
Yeah.
To keep going. And then also, obviously we're friends,
Sure.
you know, but I'm friends with a lot of people, but
yeah, because thank you for that. The reason I asked that question is because I'm sure there's a lot of people who could use a major collaborator. And the question is, why haven't they inspired that person, if that person is in their circle, to join them? Why isn't somebody helping them with the parts that they can't make work yet? And I think your answer was great. They have to see you working. This is a great analogy that I heard. Like, if you are standing on the side of the road with your thumb out, hitchhiking, people are going to pass you by. Everybody thinks you're a serial killer. But if you're outside behind your car, pushing it by yourself, you don't even have anybody at the steering wheel helping. If they see you pushing, which is completely futile,
right,
they're going to stop and help you, even though you're probably crazier for pushing than you are for sticking your thumb out for a stranger to pick you up. People are more inclined to help that person that they see pushing. So that makes a lot of sense. That's probably my biggest takeaway. That's probably my biggest takeaway from this conversation. Let people see you pushing. Because I think oftentimes people are afraid to do what little they can do because they think it's not enough.
Right.
But you don't know who's going to see you pushing.
Right.
And come alongside you and help you move that car. You standing there with your thumb out and people think you're crazy.
Man, so you could attest to the same thing. We have a kind of the same, I was going to say testimony. Sure, testimony.
Sure, yeah.
When you got the ring to get married,
yeah,
did you have enough money to get married?
Absolutely not.
Did you have all the steps stepped out?
No.
And I got the advice from two different people, and one of the people, shout out to Mother Taylor. It was Mother Taylor. She's in the back. She's like, "You married yet or whatever?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "What you waiting for?" I was like, "I don't got no money." She's like, "Just get the ring. Everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out." And I was just like, "All right."
Yeah.
But man, I gave that same advice to Christian, who just got married.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. But it's that same thing. Once you start a project, you put it out there into the world, you get the ball moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The pieces, if it's something that's in your warehouse and something that is in alignment with the will of God for your life,
yeah,
like those steps will appear as you walk.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And when you really think about it, the fantasy that you or anybody else is going to have a clearly mapped out path with every step laid out and visible to you is a fantasy. Like, you think somebody else has that, or you should have that. Nobody does. Anybody that's accomplished anything for real, had to walk that mystery path.
And man, that's part of it. Like not knowing, and that's when people say, "Oh, it's about the journey." Miley Cyrus would say, "It's about the climb." Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what shapes you. Yeah. That's what makes you who you are. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely not even the destination. It's how you get there, and not knowing and taking these left turns. And man, I've been so many places and did so many things that I never even dreamed about doing.
Yeah. What's something that like shocks you that you were able to do, or somewhere you were able to go that is like a big deal to you?
Man, shoot. I was on a yacht watching like the first boat races in New York City. And I wasn't even taking pictures. I had to set up some TVs for like a satellite. Yeah. And I never even did that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every year I go to Kansas, and I do video work over there, and I also end up playing instruments. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've been to Portland, Oregon. You know what I mean? Like playing keys. I've been on TBN. Yeah. Like playing drums. Crazy stuff, man. Yeah. I didn't even think I would be playing instruments like 8 years ago. I thought I was done. Like I had I got up to here, and then that was that. So I don't know where else. I got more stories, but
yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. And at the end of the day, when I look at your life, I mean, you certainly have what you need, and it seems like you have what you want. I mean, you got beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, right? Your apartment's bigger than mine. You got a studio, which we're sitting in. Right. And it's funny, you would have never thought that photography is an integral part of that. It's an integral part of your story. Yeah. And an amazing part of your path. And here we are sitting in your studio that I just got to say, I don't believe you would have if you were the pre-K teacher still.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so it's crazy the way life turns. So, were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say there are a lot of things that people might like have proclivities to, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily like photography is one of the things that determines my path.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? David had 5 smooth stones, and he
Yeah.
only used one
Yeah.
to kill Goliath. So just sharpening all your gifts, all your different things that you have, and using them, because while photography is my main driver for economics, where my path and my trajectory has been changed because of the people I've come in contact with,
Mm-hmm.
and the common interests and hobbies that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%. There it is. Look, Marv, tell people where they can find you, where they can book you to help bring their creative ideas to life.
Man, you can find me on IG, Marvelous Photos. I don't think I ever did an IG shout out before.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yo, you can find me on Marvelous Photos. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's the main driver. Just
the
like
main driver.
At the No Job Podcast, we're in that age bracket where Instagram is basically the thing. Yo, Marv, thanks for coming on. I do want to ask you before you go, what do you have to say to somebody who's in that monkey suit right now at their job, working the 40 hours, feel like they're in prison or hell, one or the other. They know what they want to do creatively. They have responsibilities just like you do. Where would you tell them to start? Somebody that's going to follow your advice, what would you say?
Where to start? I would say figure out the thing that you do that comes naturally, that only you could do, and really just start doing that thing, like in whatever capacity that it is, but start doing it. You know what I mean? You don't need all the bells and whistles. You don't need to be on level 10, you know what I mean, before you show anybody it. Be vulnerable, put it out there, and start.
You heard it, folks. Just start. Thanks, Marv, for coming by. This has been another episode of the No Job Podcast. If you like what we talk about, if you like us, press the subscribe button, please, on podcast platforms or on YouTube, wherever you are. Like this video, comment, start a conversation. We want to hear from you, and we want to talk back to you. Thank you so much for your support. See you next time. I'm Najee Simmons, and this is the No Job Podcast.